Is the real reason why your guitar playing doesn't progress because you're confused about 7 chords? Well, after over 1,000 students learned 7 chords and neo-soul guitar with me, I can say understanding 7 chords was one of the biggest reasons why their guitar playing wasn't improving. So in this video, I'm going to explain all 7 chords on guitar, and this is going to show you how to take your guitar playing from boring to making heads turn. You are going to learn theory and chord names, all chord positions, and we're gonna make music with these chords. By the end of this video, you're gonna have your little guide about 7 chords that you can review anytime. Alright, the first chord we need is dominant 7th. And dominant 7 chords are made by a major triad, so root, major 3rd, and perfect 5th, and a flat 7 or minor 7th degree. So the notes for a C7, a C dominant 7, are C, E, G, B flat. Now we're gonna learn 2 positions to play a C7 on guitar. Obviously you can take these positions and move them all through the fretboard in all other keys. We are gonna be in survival mode. These are the positions you absolutely must know on guitar. The first one being this C7 here, which has the root on fret 3 of the A string. It's kind of like a C major with a pinky on the note B flat on the G string. If you make sure that you mute the low E and the high E string, you can move this anywhere on the neck as if it was a barcode. And the second position has the root on the E string, fret 8, and it's this one. Now when you play this, you are clearly coming from an E shape of the caged system. The second chord type is minor 7. So all we do here, we take the major 3rd from a C7 and we bring it down to a flat 3 or minor 3rd. So essentially we have a minor triad, root, minor 3rd, and perfect 5th, and we keep the same flat 7 or minor 7th degree that we had in a C7. So the notes for a C minor 7 are C, E flat, G, B flat. The first position I recommend you to know starts with the C on fret 3 of the A string, and it looks like this. Again, this comes from the caged system, it comes from the A shape of the caged system this time. Now for the position with the root on the 8th fret of the E string, there's plenty of ways to play this, but the one that I recommend you to explore this time is this one. This is not a straightforward barcode, but it's worth learning it. Just make sure that you're muting the A string and muting the first string as well. You use the ring finger as a little bar across the D, G, and B string, and the second finger is playing the root. Occasionally, you may want to play it like this as well, just a different fingering, but it's the same position. If you guys want to see how to use these chords to play R&B and neo-soul guitar, the most complete course on neo-soul guitar is linked in the description below. Then we have minor 7 flat 5, also known as half diminished chords. You essentially have this time a flat 5. So there is a diminished triad, root, flat 3 and flat 5, minor 3rd, diminished 5th, and then the same flat 7 or minor 7th degree that we had in the C7 and in the C minor 7 as well. So the notes for a C minor 7 flat 5 or C half diminished are C, E flat, G flat, B flat. First position to know, root on the A string, and it's gonna look like this. Essentially a 1, 3, 2, 4 fingering. The second position to know, root on the E string, fret 8, is gonna look like this. And if you guys have watched other videos on my channel, you may know that I've selected the 32 chord positions that you must know to play R&B and neo-soul guitar. I'm not talking about just 7 chords, but also 9, 11, 13s, and even more. And the good news is you can grab them for free in the description. Next, we are gonna have major 7 chords. So pay attention to the last note of this chord. We're gonna have a major triad, so root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, and this time there is a major 7th degree. So the notes for a C major 7 are C, E, G, B. The first one that you should know is this one. Root on the A string as usual, and this comes from the caged system A shape. The position I recommend you to practice with the root on the E string is this. Fingering is 1, 3, 4, 2. Make sure once more to mute the A string and mute the first string as well if you want to move it to other keys. The next chord is a classic in R&B and neo-soul, and it's the C diminished 7th chord. This time, this is a fully diminished chord. So you have a diminished triad, root, flat 3, flat 5, but you also have a diminished 7th degree, the double flat 7, which enharmonically is the same as the 6th. So the notes for a C diminished 7 chord are C, E flat, G flat, B double flat. The first position we should know, root on the A string, fret 3, looks like this. The fingering for it is 2, 3, 1, 4. Now these are the chords that you guys can move by 3 half steps, and you're still playing the same chord, just an inversion of each other, because these are symmetrical chords. They are made by all minor third intervals. The position with the root on the E string looks like this. So it's worth noticing that the first finger is in fact playing a bar on fret 7 between the D and the B string. And it should sound like this. Now the next 2 chord types are not so common like the previous 5, but I want to include them because, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm going to show you all 7 chords on guitar. So we are talking about minor major 7 chords, which means there is a minor triad, root, flat 3, perfect 5th, but there is a major 7th degree. So the notes for a C minor major 7th would be C, E flat, G, B. The position with the root on the A string is this. The fingering for the position with the root on the E string is in fact quite similar. And the last one is a major 7 sharp 5 or augmented 5th. Now this chord is made by an augmented triad, so root, major 3rd, sharp 5, and a major 7th degree. So if you take the major 7 chord that we learned with the root on the A string, you will have to identify where the 5th is and raise it to a sharp 5 like this. And to do the same with the position with the root on the E string, you will essentially play this. So the ring finger is once more playing a short bar of 3 strings. And now step 3 of this lesson, let's make music with some of these chords. We are going to use 3 chord types, minor 7, major 7, diminished 7th, but please make sure to experiment with all other chords as well. The chords we need for this example are going to be E minor 7 with a root on the A string, same chord type, just 2 frets ahead, F sharp, minor 7, same position. Then we go to the E string in order to play a G major 7, and the last one is a diminished 7th chord, this time a D sharp, diminished 7 with a root on the A string once more. And it's gonna sound like this. As you can see, it's a pretty straightforward pattern, so the challenge I've got for you is to try this same chord progression using the other position for each of these chords. Hope this was helpful. If you want to learn more guitar with me, there are going to be links in the description below.